Welcome to my Hebrew channel. Today I'm continuing the study of the story of Rahab, and we're up to the portion where she begins talking with the spies, and interesting conversation, interesting events happening there. And so I've already had one video which covered the whole matter of how they got to Jericho and what they did as they came in, and then also what Rahab had done to to help them out right from the moment they got there. So we're on to the portion of where Rahab begins dialogue with the two spies. V'yeshala Yehoshua ben Nun men hashitim shanaim anashim regalim charash lemor lahu ראו את הארץ ואת יריחו וילכו ויבואו בית אישה זונה ושמה רעב וישכבו שמה ויאמר למלך יריחו לאמור הנה אנשים באו הנה הלילה מבני ישראל להפור את הארץ וישלח המלך יריחו אל רחב לאמור הוציאי האנשים הבאים אליך אשר באו ביתך כי להפור את כל הארץ באו ותיקח האישה את שני האנשים ותשפכו פנו ותאמר כן באו אליי האנשים ולא ידעתי מאין המה והיא השער לזיגור בחושך והאנשים יצא לא ידעתי אנא הלכו האנשים רדפו מהר אחריכם כי השיגום והיא העלתם הגגה ותטמנם בפשתי העץ הארוכות לך. He, this is her, she, he, elatem, ayin lamed is to go up, or Allah, to go upwards, and with the hey on the front here, it's causative hey, of course, hefel, that caused them, or brought them upwards, them, tam, those people. So this is a pronoun, suffix pronoun in the end here. So, but she had brought them up, taken them up. Hagaga. Gaga is roof. In this case, probably a flat roof, which would be made out of palm tree trunks, and then with just grass and covering on top of that. So that's typically the way the roofs were made in those days at that place. And this roof was very useful for her, of course, as we see here, for drying out the pishtim. So Hagaga, this is an article here, the roof, and then you have Gaga's roof, and then the hey, it's at the start here is the article, and then you got the directional hey at the end here. So another directional hey. We've seen one or two already in the story. So Hagaga, towards the roof, upwards towards the roof. Va, tit, meinen. Now the word here is hidden. when we can get back to what's the very base root meaning of this particular consonant, the tau and the tet, it's the little mark that is used to point out a place. And then also when the Lord leans over to listen to somebody, it's teeth, and so it's a mark that's placed, and it's a mark that is used for planting something. And so in a sense, the whole word, very literally, it is, she planted them. Okay, she dug through the pishte, and planted them inside the pishte. They became part of the vegetation up there on the roof. They were well hidden underneath all of these stalks. And you can imagine their hearts beating away very quickly. Could hear some of the conversations, hear the whole city moving around them and so forth, and yet they're up there on the roof covered with the pishte. This is the stalks of flax. Now, flax, of course, does grow among the shorelines of the Jordan River, and so in fact, with some of the other stories we read about pishte, that's there. Pishte also, incidentally, is part of the virtuous woman of Proverbs 31. She also works pishte, works the flax. Flax, of course, is used for making linen. So it's these stalks and these reeds here are stems of flax. And they're called ha'ish, the tree of pishte, but they're the stalks. They're the things that when you cut them off, somewhat flexible, leave them to dry, they get harder. But then when you beat them out, you've got you can make your linen from these stalks. So bapishti, it's indicative of the fact that she was a woman with a lot of talents, a lot of abilities, and she could work the pishtim, which the virtuous woman Eshet Hayil of Proverbs 31 also worked the same material, and material used for royalty. So this is a high-class material. It just isn't just normal material. It's good stuff. So bapishti, haetz of the stalks of flax. Ha arukot. This is arranged. And it's the very same root. I found very interesting when you start comparing it and do word searches throughout the scriptures. It's also found in Psalm 23. Tacharoch shulhan livnei shorai. You set a table. You arrange things. So the Lord sets a table in the presence of my enemies. Okay, taroch shulhan livnei shorai. So this is the very same word here. It's something very set out. Also indicative of her personality. She's a person who worked hard, but also a person who liked to set things out in order. So another part of the heart or the abilities of Rahab. So tachrok, she had laid them out in order on the roof. Lach, to her. Okay? These were hers. She wasn't just borrowing somebody else's. She was involved very much in what was happening on her roof. So al-hagag. We've seen gag with the hey gimel gimel, then hey directional hey. This is simply a hey gimel gimel without directional hey on it. So it's a little bit simplified compared to the first time we saw gag on the roof. Al-hagag. This provides a sense of privacy, sense of they can have a conversation now away from everybody else. Very large household. Now she can go up and make the vows and the pacts and so forth that she wanted to discuss with the two spies. El Hagag. Ve ha-anashim, and the man. And now we have a shift in who's doing what here. We have ha-anashim, redfu. They pursued. Okay, redfu. And redfu also appears in Psalm 23. Surely goodness and mercy. That's tov v'chesed redefuni. They will follow me, or they will chase me. Okay, so very same verb. Find interesting connections here between Psalm 23 and the portion that we're reading right here. So, but it just simply means to pursue or to chase. Okay? Anashim redefu, acharechem, chased after them. Derech, this is the road. And I'm starting to, every time I see a segolate, double segulated. Start looking for the second one here because my scribe has the habit of dropping the second one, and it's. I think he assumes that we know that it has to be there. So if it isn't there, we can just understand that it will be there. Okay, derech, okay? The road. Hayarden of the Jordan, the descending one. Take a quick look at the Resh Dalet. It means to go on down, and that's of course in reference to how the river would go down in its course from the Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea. It's a river that drops a long ways in distance in altitude, or from the Galilee all the way down to the Dead Sea, one of the lowest point on the continent, on the globe. And so this river does go down a long ways. Hayarden, al, over, and so here's on the roof, and here's over. Ma borot. We'll start with the root here of avar. That's ayin bet resh. That means to cross over. Okay, to go past or cross over. Later on, we're going to see a lot of this in the story of the Israelites crossing the river. Avar. Okay. Often used in the sense of when people are traveling, or crossing valleys, or crossing rivers, or crossing places. I think one of the first times I remember this one is when Elisha would have to cross the Jezreel Valley in order to get to the house where the woman, Shunammite woman, had her son. So avar, okay, avar, ma avarot. So that's avar is to cross, and then you have a feminine plural ending here, so these crossings. So cross, the crossings. The mem makes it a noun, and the he makes it a direct object mark, or it's a direct. It's a definite article right here. Ha, ma'abarot. So the crossings, the fords. Apparently, there was a road that went right up to this spot, and there was a wide enough area with flat enough rocks and so forth. People could walk across the river, maybe in knee-deep water if need be. It's kind of interesting that there were these fords, and they were not really used for crossing the river when the people of Israel crossed. The Lord dried up the river for them, very much in symbolic that this was his battle, and he had dried up the Yam Suf, the Red Sea, for them to escape Egypt. Now he's going to dry up the Jordan for them to enter the promised land. So, but there were some ma'abarot. Veha shar, and the gate, the city gate. There are two ways of saying gate or door. This is one shar, the small one's the delet, but this is shar. This is the big gate. This is the one where everything happens. That's where the judges are. That's where the guards are. This is the big deal. This is the gate that's closely watched. If you want to keep your city safe, this is the gate that has to stand. Okay, hashar. Very often, numerous chambers inside the gate, where the taxes were collected and where the interviews were held as to people who wanted to come into the city. Interesting that they managed to walk into the city without having to talk to anybody. They must have just slipped in beside a camel or something. But anyway, hashar, the gate. Zagru, they closed it up. This is plural. They closed up that gate. Achare, behind, after. Kesher, those that. Yatseu, went out. Okay. Yatseu. This is we've seen this 2 or 3 times. This particular verb. The first one was hotzieni, hotziehu, and now this is yatsu. They went out. Ha-rodefim, those are the ones that are pursuing, the pursuing ones, the pursuers. Ha-rodefim. Achrechem, behind them. We're starting to see a lot of this back and forth of rodefim, achrechem, and seems to be a lot of action, a lot of motion going on, people pursuing, and I think in terms of the development of the story, it heightens the whole sense of danger and the whole sense of movement in the story, that there are pursuers out there chasing these people, and they're in great dangers. These acharim, these redufim, they're the ones that are going to try to catch them and kill them and stop the spying. So acharichem. Behema, Vehema, Terem, Yish Kabun. And they, this is a independent pronoun here, plural, independent, and they, Terem had yet, as yet before, Yish Kabun, they had, before they had laid down. Okay, this is third person plural, again here, Yish Kabun, they had, before they had laid down. You have an emphatic nun at the end here, so this is before they would lay down to sleep, before they'd fallen asleep. So I'm pretty sure they weren't sleeping too well at this point, wondering what was happening downstairs and whether they were being sold out or not. So interesting tension going on in the story here. And this means to lay down to sleep in many contexts. So yeshkabun, and there's an emphatic nun on the end of this. Vehi and she, okay, I find this very central into the story. We're speaking about a story about Rahab, a female person who was doing this dialogue and carrying out these things, and it's he, that is she, alta, and she went up. So al is a preposition of upwards, and ta, and that means, but it's into a verb right here, of course. So alta, and she went upwards, up to them. Alehem, up to them. Okay, going up, going upwards, up to them. Okay, same. This one is the preposition here with the pronoun suffixed on the end here. This one's the verb. Okay, to go on up. So alat, alta, alehem, going up to them. Wow, here we go. It was three times in a row. Alta, alehem, al hagag. Okay. She goes up to them, she goes up on the roof. Okay, so everything up. Things are showing, things are looking up. Okay, alta, alahem, al hagag. Okay, going up to the roof. So this one also is a preposition. This preposition is tied in with the makef, but here it isn't. It's just simply tied together with the pronoun at the end here. And this one's tied into the noun here, the roof, hagag, al-hagag. Vatomer, and she said, al-hanashim, to the men, yadati, I know, and this is a suffix form of yada, to know, ki natan, Yehovah, that God has given. Okay, none. This is a very well-known root to give or place, to hand over. Okay, so ki natan, that Yehovah has given, lachem, to you, et, the direct object marker here, something that they're going to receive. Haaretz, the land, veki, naf, vela, and has fallen. Nafal is to fall down. Im matechem. This is terror. This is something that grips your heart. Okay? Im matechem. That is your the fear that others have of you is what we have here. That your terror. That is the terror that or the fear that they're installing in others. That's what's falling to us. Okay, alenu, on to us. Again, another use again of al, okay, on top of us, alenu. Ki, now mogu, because they are melting. I think this is melting the hearts of, okay, na mogu, kol yoshbe, all of the inhabitants, okay, this is a construct form of yashav, plural, okay, kol yoshbe, all of the inhabitants of Haaretz, of the land, me, penechem, from in front of your faces. Okay? Pen is to have the face, okay, and then from men, from your faces, okay, from in front of your faces, from before your faces. Haaretz mefanechem, sof pasuk, good old siluk. Is that very clear up here? Yeah, there's a siluk. There's only one of the Sof Pasuk up here. Is only this one here. The other one might be up there, but Mifanechem Ki, because Sham Manu, because we are hearing. Et, this is object marker here. Et Asher, which Hobish have dried. Now, Yabesh is to dry out. Yabashah is dry land, and you will find that in also all the way up in Genesis 1, when God creates the dry land. Yabesh creates Yabashah, and this is a causative of Yabesh, to dry out, because he caused to dry out. Okay, Hobish, Yehovah has dried out. Et, again, an object marker. What did he dry out? Me, the waters. This is the construct form of waters in plural. Maim would be the absolute form, and me, this construct here. Me, Yam Suf. Direct translation here is Red Sea. Now, because of other ancient translations, we call this the Red Sea. And most translations in this day and age will stick with Red Sea. That's the original way of translating this particular word, although very much Suf, the Reed Sea. The ones, in fact, I'm just now looking at the second chapter of Exodus, and there the Suf are the reeds that are growing alongside the river, the Nile River. So Suf are the reeds. Okay, Suf, Yam Suf. Mefanechem, from in front of your faces. Okay? They dried the waters in front of you people. You're standing there looking at it. The wind blows through, and the water's dried up. Okay, Mefanechem. Be set techem, as you. And now we've seen this verb before, but might be a little hard to pick out here. Yatsa, Yod Tzadik Aleph, as you went out. Okay, as in the departure of. Okay, so this is whenever you put a preposition of purpose in front of a verb, then you get an infinitive in order to bring you out, or to bring you out. Okay, Be Yatse, as you went out. Mishraim, from Mishraim, from Egypt. Okay, Mishraim is also a dual. We've seen the dual with Anashim, Shanim, with Shanaim. Okay, and here we can see the dual again right here. Mishraim. Mishraim is a dual, Egypt. So as you went out from Mishraim, Ve'asher, and as Ashitem, as you had done. This is the root here of Ayin Shin Hey. And then this then is the second person plural suffix ending of that particular verb, as you had done. Leshene, to the two. This is a construct form of two. Malche, and also another construct form of melech, the kings. Okay, to the two kings. Amori, of the Amorites, Amorites, Amoreos, Amorites, Amori. Asher, which, who, Be'eber, as you crossed, okay, as on the other side. Now we've seen Abar, Ayin Bet Resh, as to be on the other side, or to cross over, on the crossing of the Jordan, on the other side of the Jordan, beyond the Jordan, Aber Yehordan. It's said this way because if you're the writing of this material took place probably in Jerusalem, and then from Jerusalem your perspective would be, if you're looking down towards Jordan and Jericho, then whatever's beyond that would be beyond that. So that would be Aber. Okay, so Aber Yehordan is very, very much an indication of what happened on the other side of the Jordan, looking at it from the Jerusalem side. So looking that way. So Be'aber HaYardan, the Jordan. Le Shihon, this is Sihon, and to Le Og. Okay, Og. That's an accent. This one's a vowel right here. It's Holem. Le Og, and to Og. Asher he heremechtem, which you have cherem. Okay, cherem is devoted. Okay. It's the root of korban. Okay, in other words, this is material that's dedicated. It will be handed over, and it will not be. It will be destroyed, and because it's dedicated to the Lord. In fact, that's what's going to happen to Jericho. So, Asher Heretem, אותם, to them. ונשמה, וימס, and our lebabenu, and our hearts melted. Velo kama, od, and they did not rise up again. And they did not come as to rise up. Ruach beish mifanechem ki Yehovah Elohechem hu Elohim bashamayim. Me'al ve'al haaretz metahat. Ve'ata hishbeu na li beYehovah ki ashti imachem chesed ve'ashtem gam atem im beit avi chesed. נתתם לי אות אמת, והייתם את אבי ואת אמי ואת אחי ואת אחותי ואת כל אשר לכם, והשלתם את נפשתנו ממוות. ויאמרו לך האנשים, נפשנו תחתיכם למות, אם לא הגידו את דברנו זה, והיה בתת יהובה לנו את הארץ. ואשנו עמך חסד ואמת, ותורידם בהבל בעוד החלון, כי ביתך בקיר החומה, ובחומה היא יושבת. ותאמר לכם, הרך לקו פן יפגעו בכם הרודפים, ונחבאתם שמה. שלושת ימים עוד שוב הרודפים, ואחר תלכו לדרככם. ויאמרו אליה האנשים, ניקים אנחנו משובתך הזה אשר השבתנו, הנה אנחנו באים בארץ את תקוות הות השני הזה, תקשרי בהלון אשר הורדתנו, בו את אביך ואת אמך ואת אחיך ואת כל בית אביך, תאשפה אלך הביתה. והיה כל אשר יצא מדלתי ביתך החוצה, דמו בראשו. ואנחנו נקים בכל אשר יחיה איתך בבית, דמו בראשנו. יד תחיה בו, ואם תגידי את דברנו שזה, והיינו נקים משיבותך. אשר השבעתנו ותאמר כדבריכם כן הוא ותשלחם וילקו ותקשור את תקוות השני בחלום ויהלכו ויבואו אחריה ויושבו שם 3 ימים עד שבו הרודפים ויבקשו הרודפים הדרך ולא משהו וישבו שני האנשים וירדו מההר ויבואו אל יהושע בן נון וישפרו לו את כל מושעות אותם ויאמרו אל יהושע כי נתן יהוה בידנו את כל הארץ וגם נמוגו כל יושבי הארץ מפנינו.